My name is Jeremiah Taylor, and this is my character analysis of The Monster by Tbby Litt for um, English 2201. Alrighty, let's get started. So, my character introduction is the monster in Tbby Litt's The Monster struggles with the profound identity crisis. Without mirrors or reliable memories, the monster cannot develop a stable sense of self. Uncertainty causes emotional distress, loneliness, and destructive behavior. When emotional pain becomes overwhelming, the monster repeatedly hits its head against the trees because physical pain gives it something concrete to understand. Okay, so this is my character analysis chart. I'll just go over it a little bit, I guess. So in the monster doesn't have a name because it struggles with identity. Its physical appearance, it cannot see itself clearly, so it describes itself by touch. It knows it has two soft, floppy growths on its head, a long, curved back, a huge belly, and these are just some physical appearances that it tells us in the story. Personal traits is lonely, curious, and good. Personal history: the monster remembers a mother that taught it not to be cruel, and a father that warned it against pride. But other than that, we don't really have any personal history. We know that the monster does not have mirrors or a written language or reliable memory, and it cannot fully understand itself. As far as relationship goes, the monster occasionally gathers with other monsters beneath the trees, but the communication is limited. Conflicts, internal, the constantly questions, the constant questions of its identity, wondering whether it is truly a monster or whether its actions are good or bad. And external, it struggles against the world that offers no mirrors, no language, no certainty to help it define itself. Motivation: the monster longs to understand who it is. Its it give it absolute certainty of being. It seeks self-knowledge more than pleasure or companionship. Climax slash decision: near the end of the story, the monster realizes that there will be no quest for true identity and accepts that the monster had no story unless being a monster is story enough. Um, Character arc: the monster changes from someone desperately searching for certainty about itself to someone who reluctantly accepts that complete self knowledge may never come. Its growth is psychological rather than physical. Okay, and my thesis for this story was: in the monster, Tbby Litt uses the monster's fragmented memory, un- uncertain identity, and longing for self understanding to suggest that the greatest struggle is not fighting external monsters but discovering who we truly are. Okay, so some recommended practices for the monster and anyone suffering from an identity crisis or loneliness, depression, anxiety, or anything of that sort. Here are some things that can help you. The University of Memphis has a counseling center. Business hours are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. They have walk-in hours from Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Before meeting with a walk-in therapist, students will be guided on how to complete initial paperwork. The location is 3720 Alumni Avenue, the University of Memphis, 214 Wilder Tower, and there's a phone number. They do have after-hour emergencies, 24/7. You can call that number and then dial the number 2 to speak to a crisis counselor. The crisis counselor does not is not a substitute for a therapist. They just focus on brief, solution-focused intervention to assess students' current situation. They conduct a guided clinical assessment, and then they will be looped back into the discussion in order to solidify a student safety plan. The University of Memphis Counseling Center provides confidential and free of charge therapy services, which is individual, group, couples, partners, and family therapy. To students enrolled in at least a 6 credit hour or 1 credit hour for the summer. Psychiatric services are available to uninsured students who are engaged in therapy services. They test for disability, ADHD, personality, and other psychodiagnostic assessments is available for a small fee. I thought for the monster that a group therapy would probably be best. Of course, individual therapy is always good, but I just assumed that maybe a group therapy, and then they had this on their website is why do people join groups? Group therapy can be helpful in many ways, but often people participate in group therapy if they are struggling with relationships and to address interpersonal concerns. If you have if you have been referred to a group by one of our group of our therapists, I'm sorry, it is because it is the most effective method for addressing your concerns. And I felt like because they suffer from loneliness and not like a broad vocabulary, maybe group, of course, individual therapy, but I think group therapy will help them see that there are others like them. Alliance Healthcare Services provides 24/7 crisis response and a full range of mental health, addiction recovery, and support services. There are various of clinics available. You can call that number. They also have a crisis wellness center at 3200 Broad Avenue, which is open 24/7. Step one, you got to schedule an assessment. Step two, the Crisis Wellness Center. You can meet your therapist and then you reclaim your life. Um, and then additional resources, of course, is uh, NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It advocates to improve the lives of people affected by mental health conditions. There's an email and phone number. And then you also have the Mental Health America. Mental Health America is the nation's leading nonprofit dedicated to promoting the mental health and well-being of all people living in the U.S. And there's their information below, phone number, toll-free number, fax number, and address if you're interested. And just a few closing remarks. The monster's greatest struggle is its inability to understand who it is. Through counseling and emotional support, it could learn that identity is not something discovered in a single moment, but something that is developed through reflection, relationships, and growth. The same is true for many of us today. Anyone struggling with uncertainty, loneliness, anxiety, depression, or questions about identity can benefit from reaching out for support. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It is an important step toward self-understanding, emotional well-being, and a healthier future.